Right now, behind your eyes, there is no light. Inside your skull, it is completely dark and completely silent. Your brain has never seen the sun, it has never heard a voice. It sits in a bony vault in total blackness, fed nothing but faint electrical pulses arriving down nerves from somewhere it will never visit. And out of those pulses, in that silence, it is painting the entire world you think you're looking at. The room around you, the warmth of the light, this voice, none of it is reaching your brain. Your brain is making all of it up. Sit with how strange that is, because over the next few minutes you are going to discover something you can't unknow. You have never once touched reality, not the world, not another person, not even your own body. You have only ever touched your brain's best guess about them, and you have mistaken the guess for the thing your entire life. Start somewhere simple. Look at any object near you and notice its color. It feels like the color is just there, sitting on the surface. A property of the object, the way its weight or shape is. It isn't. Out in the world, there is no color at all. There are only photons, vibrating at different wavelengths, and a wavelength is not red any more than a sound wave is loud. Redness happens nowhere in the universe except inside a nervous system. Your brain takes a colorless stream of light, runs it through machinery built over millions of years, and produces the experience of color as a kind of label, a shortcut it invented to help you tell surfaces apart. The strawberry is not red, the redness is in you. And if color were really a fixed property of objects, everyone would agree on it. In 2015, a washed out photo of a dress proved we don't. Tens of millions of people looked at the exact same pixels and split almost evenly into two camps, blue and black or white and gold. They weren't lying and their eyes were fine. The neuroscientist Pascal Wallisch worked out why. Your brain was quietly guessing about the light in that photo. Was it lit by cool daylight or warm indoor bulbs, and silently subtracting that guessed light before it ever showed you an answer? Two brains, two guesses, two different realities from one unchanging image. You watched your own brain take a position before you got a vote. This is the secret machinery underneath all perception, and it has a name almost 2 centuries old. In the 1860s, the German physicist Hermann von Helmholtz noticed that the image landing on your retina is hopelessly ambiguous, too thin, too flat to ever specify the rich three-dimensional world you actually experience. So the brain must be doing something extra. He called it unconscious inference. Perception, he argued, is not a window. It's a guess. The brain takes the meager smear of light on the retina and infers the most likely world that could have caused it, instantly, automatically far below awareness. You are not seeing what's there. You are seeing your brain's best theory about what's there. Modern neuroscience took that idea and grew it into a model of the entire brain. The theoretical neuroscientist Carl Friston and philosophers like Andy Clark in his book Surfing Uncertainty describe the brain as a prediction machine. It isn't sitting back, waiting for the world to stamp itself onto the senses. It's running ahead of the world, constantly generating predictions about what it's about to see and hear and feel, and then it only bothers to process the prediction error, the gap between what it expected and what actually arrived. Perception runs backwards from the way it feels. The heavy lifting is the prediction pouring down from inside. The senses just send up the corrections. The neuroscientist Anil Seth has the sharpest phrase for what this means. He calls perception a controlled hallucination. When you open your eyes, your brain isn't reading the world. It's projecting its best hallucination of the world outward, and using the thin trickle of sensory data only to rein that hallucination in, to keep it tethered to whatever's actually out there. As Seth puts it, we're all hallucinating all the time. It's just that when we agree about our hallucinations, we call that reality. And if you still believe you're seeing the raw, unedited world, your brain leaves its fingerprints everywhere. Once you know where to look. Right now, there is a hole in your vision. Where the optic nerve punches through the back of each eye, there are no light detecting cells at all, a literal blind spot. First described back in the 1660s. A patch of pure nothing in your visual field, several times the width of the full moon. You never see it. Your brain quietly studies the texture around the hole and paints over it, fabricating whatever it assumes should be there. You are looking at invented pixels right now, this second, and calling it sight. It goes deeper than seeing. Watch a face mouth the syllable ga while a recording plays the sound be, and you will hear clearly and undeniably de, sound that was never spoken and never recorded. Your eyes overrule your ears. That's the McGurk effect, discovered by accident in 1976. And here's the unsettling part: even knowing exactly how it works does not switch it off. The illusion holds because hearing 2 is a prediction, and your brain trusts its prediction more than the raw signal coming in. Even what you hear is partly a hallucination, wearing the costume of sound. Here is the detail that should genuinely unsettle you. It takes your brain something like a tenth of a second to turn incoming light into a conscious image. Which means the now you're living in is already old news, a tenth of a second in the past, by the moment you see it. The brain hates that lag, so it cheats. It predicts forward, projecting where things are about to be, and shows you that instead. The present moment you feel so certain of, that crisp, immediate sense of right now, is a forecast. It's how a baseball hitter connects with a pitch he could never actually react to in time. His brain isn't seeing where the ball is, it's seeing where the ball will be. You don't live in the present. You live a fraction of a second inside your brain's predicted future, and you have never once noticed. So, where does that leave you? Sealed inside a dark, silent skull, holding a model of the world you have mistaken your whole life for the world itself. You have never touched reality. You've only ever touched the painting and pressed your hand to the canvas and called it the world. But follow the thread all the way down, because this is where the vertigo turns into something gentler. If the redness of the strawberry is a guess, and the solid floor is a guess, and this very moment is a guess, then so is everything else your brain builds the same way, from the same fragments behind the same dark wall. Your certainty that you're right, the fear that grips you at 3 in the morning, the heavy permanent feeling story of exactly who you are and what you're capable of. All of it is generated by the same prediction machine, and none of it is the bedrock you took it for. And that is the quiet gift hidden inside this unsettling fact. You cannot step outside the hallucination. There is no door, no raw reality waiting behind the curtain. But a model is not a prison. A model can be questioned. A model can be wrong. A model can be updated. The fear can be a bad prediction. The certainty can be a guess that was never once checked. The self can be revised. You will never see reality as it is. But you can learn to hold your version of it a little more lightly, and that loosening of the grip, the willingness to let the picture be a picture, might be the closest thing to freedom a brain like yours was ever going to get.